So, the final proof hearing. Yeah, there's not a soul in the building except the admin. Miss Tom's just entered it. I got a lift with two delightful old-fashioned Gerrit men, and they clearly have a conscience. Everything else is shut. There's no one that I'm allowed to talk to. I think you understand why. And there's the Sinclair solicitors that are too busy to take me on. Yeah. And I've uploaded the gist of the case against me, which keeps changing every time I come here now. They have no grounds except for the temporal clause, and because I noticed that in the last writ they said that there was nothing you could do to appeal against something in the divorce sector, and they cited two precedents, and one of them, the precedent for what they told me was before they issued the accusation that this was the separation date, within weeks of me paying off my mortgage. So maybe they have a conscience. And Miss Tom's been working ever so hard. She's only had 4 days holiday, and my sister today, 2 days ago, issued a thing called an affidavit, which is entirely supporting my wife's side, yeah, and all of the insolvent funds have been allocated to me, yeah, even the ones that she tried to open at Christmas so that she could have a binge, because the ISAs that are declared to be in the matrimonial document, where you factor in the costs and who's got what. My wife has been running unidentifiable funding streams since she made the statement that categorically nothing in this divorce case would be charged against me or any of our joint savings. So she's not declared where the funds come from, and the fund that she's alleged to have open on the 4th of July contains £60. Yeah, so that's her share of the take. It's a totally arbitrary date. 4th of July, the day America was stolen by the Crown Templar. Anyway, we're not really allowed to take videos, but let me just show you how spookily empty the halls are today. Usually there's a criminal sector and a family sector at the same time, but today, nothing. There's no other proceedings at all.
Not today, no.
I've nobody to chatter to, and the coffee room's shut too.
Yeah, it's coffee room.
So, nobody on the landing. Usually there are 2 or 3 dozen people looking ever so nervous, and we've only got 2 viable law courts anywhere across the borders now, and suddenly they're in recess. And the first thing I intend to do is ask the Sheriff with 1T, John Patterson, whether or not the massive linkage between him on the boards of an Edinburgh, it's near Heart of Midlothian Football Club in the Haymarket in Edinburgh, he's registered, and he links into the Better Off Together party leader McCletchy, who died last year, just before the referendum, with all of the twisted politicians at his funeral. Yeah, just like the inauguration of Archbishop Leo Cushley, with previous in sub-Saharan Africa. The frauds against the world's innocent people are so massive they're indescribable, but I'm doing my best to do that. Okay, and you're not allowed to tape in the court, because it could reveal the truth, and that would be a terrible thing for the world owners, which is why last week I wrote to the Queen, and I've sent it to the Prime Minister and all of the figureheads. I sent it to Paul Wheelhouse, yeah, who's now confirmed that he has got contact details as email addresses, which he gave me 2 days ago, and I used them yesterday, and the message came back undelivered. Anyway, wish me luck. And if you're looking for a decent man, then get in touch. My phone number is openly published with my name and my contact details on my website, which has them quaking in their boots, because they're treasonous war criminals and complicit in the war crimes even of Tony Blair. Yet the massive cover-ups of the Arms to Iraq inquest chairs run by the corrupted judiciary and the speculative society members out of Edinburgh, where I got my degree for free, but now the Scottish people struggle to pay their subsistence expenses, so they have to be embroiled in the student loan scandal. And the next thing that happens is that when the English students get their fees, it has now in the last fortnight been raised from £9,000 a year to £13,000 a year. That's a life in debt. The 4 years honours degree that Lord Patton and I got for nothing is now striking English students into a £60,000 to £70,000 debt pool, depending on whether or not you live it up. I lived it up entirely at the public expense. I played rugby on a Wednesday, I played rugby on a Saturday. I had enough money to buy my car as soon as I became of age to buy the car, and all of that was because we were able to find decent jobs as children. All you've got on the high street now are charity scams or legal frauds. Yeah, and the law society in Scotland is totally twisted, which is why Miss Tom's from Canada, but I've no idea what her citizenship base is. And all of the links to Canada and the crashing of its stock markets and the owning of our central bank by Mark Carney on $800,000 a year and $250,000 a year housing allowance, you should see what all of them, including Mervyn King and Eddie George, the previous holders as the head of the Bank of England, all of them train in Basel, and that is the Basel faulty joke. And when I explain the religious joke to the Queen, and I listen again to the video, no one can ignore the message that the whole of religion and all of the war dead and all of the strifes in religious martyrdom and missions are caused by a false messiah, and the ordinary people who die in those conflicts are too stupid to suss it out. Right then, wish me luck.